Hi, a welcome back after the shambles that was supposed to be alive in the Facebook group this week. I am joined by wonderful Sara McKee of Evermore Academy and also Life Full Colour. So as you'll know, or as you may know from the website and all the promotions, Sarah is going to be joining us for the final session of the Friday for the conference this year. And we're going to be doing these live, well, hopefully going to be live again from next week. We're going to be doing these sessions every week until we've covered all 5 speakers. And Sarah's kindly agreed to join us, well, yesterday, but now today. As you can see, she sat in a wonderfully orange room in number 21. Yeah, I think number 21 over in Carnarvon. I'll be asking Sarah about how the last year has impacted her. Obviously, it's been a really crazy time. So how has that impacted her with her businesses and what has she managed to achieve in that time, which is no small feat. And then Sarah will run through what we're actually going to be doing at the conference. As you will have seen on the website, as I said, it's the final session of the event where we will be looking to get you to be a little bit creative, to do something fun. Normally, our final sessions, the sessions are all the same. They're all educational, they're all interactive, and we always have loads of fun. And this year, well, it was supposed to be last year, obviously, I wanted us to end the session or end the whole conference by doing something that was a little bit more fun, that wasn't just a sitting down and listening and interacting and chatting with each other. I wanted us to do something really, really fun. And as part of my, I was 50 last year, and as part of my 50 at 50 list, I had that I wanted to create a piece of art for my office, and I've moved into a lovely new office this year, and I've got some lovely prints and things, but I really wanted something dead unique that I could create, and God knows what it'll be like. It might be absolutely minging, it might be awful, but it'll be dead bright, and I will have done it myself. So I'm really excited, and you get the opportunity to do that as well. So without further ado, Sarah, how about you start off by telling us what's happened to you in the last year? I'll just give a bit of background. I've worked with Sarah for, God, it must be 8 years. It must be 8 years. I think it was 8 years at Christmas. So it's been a long relationship, which has been great. And we've done so many different things and looked at so many different opportunities within Sarah's business. And she's helped me immensely. And I've spoken at the conference before as well, which was really great, quite a few years ago now. Sarah has a consultancy business, but has had a lifelong passion for art, which she has delved right into. So I'll hand over to Sarah. And if you want to tell us maybe a little bit about what you've done in the last year and what developments in your business have been like.
Yeah, well, thanks so much for the opportunity. And I am sitting here in my little office in Carnarvon, which I have painted orange because I can. And because I love really strong, bright colours. And that's been all the way through my working life. When I started out, I used to wear really brightly coloured jackets, and it was a tactic. In corporate world, a lot of my female counterparts wanted to look more mannish. So back in the 80s and 90s, they wore dark suits, trouser suits or suits with skirts, but always dark, navy, grey, dark brown. And I'd pop up in a jacket that looked more like a deck chair. And it was one of those, it was almost like a signature that I would never turn up in some, I might wear a dark skirt, for example, but I would always have a really bright jacket above it, because you go into a room full of people and who do they see? They see you. And for me, all the different sectors I've worked in, and I've worked in quite a few over the years, they've all been very commercial. It's always been very aggressive, mostly male dominated until the last probably 10 years. But it's been definitely a place where you need to stand out. You need to have a pretty quick impact. Otherwise you just get swallowed up and you're an also-ran. So applying that to what we've been doing has been quite interesting, because 35 years ago, would you believe? I know it's hard to believe I'm that old, but 35 years ago, I did a degree in the history of art. And back then, if you did that sort of thing and wanted to get into the sector, sort of the old masters of Christie's or Sotheby's that you might have heard of, you had to have a private income. And it's no great surprise that the Duchess of Cambridge, who also did history of art, is now going to be the next queen. So it's a very elitist subject. It's a very complicated subject if you study it in the way that we did. You need to know about chemistry, you need to know about craftsmanship, you need to have a very good eye. And what I have is what the art people would call, I'm a colorist. I can keep color in my head. I can see quality in the way that color is used. I love to be surrounded by art, as you can see here. So these paintings that I circulate in my office are ones that are available in the gallery. Most of the things up here are also available for sale, or they're waiting to go into another exhibition. So for me, it's a 35-year dream to live surrounded by art. If we look at what the last year's held for us, well, who would have thought it would be a good idea to open a business then? So I bought this building, the gallery building, and completed on it February last year, seconds away from lockdown. And then you think, oh, right, so now what am I going to do then? So we have to turn the whole business model on its head. So the original business model was that we were going to have loads of lovely workshop activities so people could come in and paint and draw and do all of that. We develop a great retail offer in terms of artist materials, cards, prints, much more affordable end of the art. And then we have exhibitions from different artists with all of their work available to buy, but that will be like the icing on the cake from a business perspective. So if I sold a painting, hooray, the rest of it ran. Of course, you can't get more than 2 people in the room, so you can't do your activities. You can't do, you don't get the traffic through the shop. So you're not selling anything in terms of volume there. So we had to turn it on its head and go straight for the online approach. So what we focused on last year was getting the building ready, making it stand out, talking about it to everybody and everywhere, and you know, literally knocking on all the doors locally, knocking on all our network doors virtually, and building a really strong social media platform across Instagram, across Twitter and Facebook. So we've developed quite a strong following that way, and our artists have benefited from that too. So we've actually been able to sell. So the short windows when we were able to open in September, October last year, and then just before Christmas, everything that we sold covered the costs of the whole business, which has been incredible because there was a lot of work to do to get it ready and prepped for opening. It's a 200-year-old building. It's stitched into the castle wall. All sorts of interesting problems there, which I shall tell you more about when I'm wittering on at the conference. But it's a lifelong dream. And on that basis, this is my next 20-year career. And yes, I was 55 this year, but I can't think of ever retiring. And to be perfectly honest, what's that saying? If you do something you love, you'll never work a day in your life. This is now. This is absolutely now. And I've kept all the consulting business going all the way through the pandemic, primarily because people quickly converted to Zoom and Teams meetings. So I was able to cut out the travel, but maintain that work. And whilst we were knocking holes in the building, it actually enabled us to keep that finance flowing. But as Joanne knows, my ultimate goal is to move from mainstream consultancy into thinking in colour. So actually talking to people and businesses about how they think about their future, how they think further ahead than this year. How do they think 3 and 5 years out? How does that get encapsulated in some kind of vision? And we've all talked about vision and strategy, but how many people actually colour it in? And that's what we're all about. We're about bringing this colour to life. And the artists that we've been working with in the last year will tell you, we've created a little gang here. We've created an artist colony. And a lovely piece of feedback I heard yesterday was, got a new artist who's just joining us. And she said to my partner, Rebecca, I just want to be part of Sarah's gang. And that's what business should be about. It should be fun. It should be energetic. You should want to be here all the time. It should make you get out of bed in the morning, bounce out of bed like Tigger. And if it does all of those things, do you know what? The cash follows. If you focus on how you're going to make ends meet before you do the fun stuff and the energy, it's more difficult.
Yeah.
And I know that sounds really flippant, but it's worked for me in every sector I've been in. If you throw your heart and soul into what you're doing, if you tell everybody what you're doing. I had people come to our opening on Saturday from all over the Northwest. I had a guy drive up from North London to come. Why? Because they believe in what we're doing. They're friends. I've known them through different industry sectors. I've made friends with them over the years. They wanted to support us. And thank the Lord it was sunny. And we all sat out drinking Bellinis and having canapes. That is work. That was a day's work for me. Now, if you'd have told me I'd be wearing a funky dress, dyeing my hair blue and drinking Bellinis with friends and calling it business, even last year, I'd have probably said you're nuts.
Yeah.
But that's where, for me, we've ploughed through the pandemic. We've not lost our vision, but we've been really adaptable. And, to be fair, Joanne, you've had to do all the adapting with this as well. So all power to your elbow there.
Yeah, but it's been, and it has been, it's been different than thinking about just setting up a business that's operated solely through the computer or by email, or it's been researching for things in bright colour. It's been looking at how do we adapt to do things, and getting everybody that's in that tribe involved in every single aspect, everybody understanding what everyone else is doing, knowing where you're going this year, knowing what the plans are, and doing it in a fun way and having fun conversations about it. So it's not been a kind of static, boring, brand new business. Not that new businesses are boring, but it's been fun and energetic and vibrant, and that, because everything is surrounded by bright colour all the time. Everything.
I think what's been really interesting is you bring all of that commercial experience you've had working in offices, flip charts, post-it notes, all that sort of stuff to try and get people to think differently. You then ask artists to do that thing, and they thought it was like having a game. It was so exciting. They were so excited because flip chart, paper and post-it notes to us is like normal working behaviour, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I said to them, right, we're going to open a new venue. We need to brainstorm every different thing that we could possibly do. No idea is wrong. And then we'll prioritise what we think we can do in which order, and the weird and wacky ones will park so that we can develop those in more detail. And we spent 2 hours playing in the gallery with post-it notes, just coming up with that, oh, how about this? Oh, could we do that? Can we do this? Can we do that? And they were like kids in a sweet shop. And the whole thing about art, in a lot of senses, is they spend a lot of time on their own in their little studios. And they bring these things out and they've invested their whole soul into them, and they're waiting for somebody to say, oh, yes, I love it. And not always do people do that. So what we do is we have that encouragement. We have that come and hang out with us. We have Nathan painting here 2 or 3 days a week. And people love that. People come into our gallery and they're like, the artist is upstairs. Oh, my God. It's so exciting. And that for me is, if you lose the excitement in what you're doing, and if you can't instill that excitement in the people around you and the people coming in to buy from you, you should go and do something else. I'm all for change. And as Joanne's already said, over the last 8 years, she's seen a lot of change. And prior to that, I was changing all the time too. So I love a bit of change. What this platform here, this physical space, allows me to do is play things in different ways and try lots of stuff out. And if you only ever read one business book, read something by Tom Peters. He's an American business guru whose mantra I have always respected. It is, whoever tries the most stuff wins. Don't worry if it fails. Don't worry if it doesn't work. People have said to me in the past, aren't you devastated that didn't come off? No, not really. I'm doing something else now. And that's it. I can detach. And you kind of have to do that to be resilient in business, particularly if you're running it yourself. And when I asked my decorators to paint this place orange, they opened the lid of the tin and went, what, like that? I went, yeah. Well, all the walls, yeah. Seriously, yeah. Okay. Now we've got it full of furniture, full of painting. They're going, do you know, this really works? I know, daft, isn't it? But yeah, it's might feel like bravery to some people, but it's just trying stuff out. And you know what? If it looked awful, what's the worst thing that could happen? We paint it over.
Paint over it, yeah.
And I think that's, you know, we painted the outside of our gallery bright yellow. I always say in the social media that yellow is my favourite colour. If you look at the biography that Rebecca has written for me on Life Full Colour, the website, it says Sara McKee is an art historian and loves the colour yellow. Huge. Well, there's a means to my madness, because everybody now refers to us as the Yellow Gallery.
Yeah.
You want to know where we are in Carnarvon? No, it's the Yellow Gallery. So we have brightened up the whole street. We have made ourselves really visible. We have created impact, and we've probably only physically traded in the last year for about 6 weeks. So for me, colour is the thing. And for me, kind of creating your own colour scheme. So the Life Full colour scheme is the stuff I wear. I dye my hair. I've painted my buildings. I'm surrounded by colour. And as Joe will testify, I do it at home as well. So you can't escape colour if you're with me. It's just, I mean, I'm really dull today. I'm really kind of trying to be subdued and sensible today. But obviously I can't cut my hair off.
And I think loads of stuff that you've just said there really will resonate with VAs, and especially at the conference where you said about specifically with the artists, where they're in their own little space on their own. And a lot of VAs, even before the pandemic, will have just worked from home, and they will have been on their own, and they might have gone to some networking events, and they might have gone and met a client or a fellow VA every now and then. But predominantly, I'd say most VAs will be home-based and be working on their own. So it's really important to have an environment, especially like the conference, where once a year they can come, and it is totally, and anyone that's been before, and you've been obviously, but any attendees that have been, it's all fun, it's all interactive. We have dinner together on the Thursday evening. There's always gin, there's always laughs, there's always a great sense of everybody coming together and thinking, we need to be in the same space as each other. It was brilliant last year to do an online session. It was great, and it opened us up to a lot more people. But this year, it's really important that we get back together and we get to be sat in the same room and have conversations with each other. So I think that was really important, and something that you've said there obviously will massively resonate with people that are going to come to the conference. So what can we expect then from your session on the Friday afternoon?
Okay, so my session is going to be messy. We're going to get messy because the creative process, as I have learnt to my cost and my carpet chagrin next door, is a messy process. So Nathan, you may have seen some of my posts on Instagram, because whatever Nathan touches, he leaves his mark. We always say that if he does anything criminal, we'll know it's him, because his finger marks are everywhere. They're on the door, they're on the card machine, they're on the carpet, they're on mugs, everything. So what I'm intending for us to do is I'll bring all the materials, but and I'll give you aprons, so don't worry. But we are going to paint a picture of our happiest moment. So when are we at our happiest moment, and what colours would we use to describe that? So no surprise, there'll be quite a lot of orange and yellow in mine. And there is no need to worry about whether you need to have any kind of artistic talent. I'm surrounded by artistic talent. I can't do more than draw a stick man myself. So it's about immersion. It's about getting stuck in. It's about losing your inhibitions and just having a bit of fun. And you know what? You'll create something that you'll want to have framed and on the wall. You will. This will be your piece, Joe, that you're going to have in the office.
Can't wait.
And it's about just getting your mind into that mindset of leaving all of those day-to-day issues behind and just thinking about, right, I'm standing 5 years out from here, and this is how my business feels. And it's something I come across all the time, particularly in the local businesses I've been talking to here. I'm planning 2025 at the moment in my head.
Right.
I've got to run 2021, but I've got people like you, like Lauren, like Rebecca, who are in the detail now. I'm looking at, so in 2025, I want to be able to do that. So if I want to do international exhibitions, it's going to take me a while to plan it. If I want to attract different types of artists over here, if I want to do different things around the UK, the fact that I'm in Carnarvon is not going to inhibit me from going anywhere in the world if I feel like it. Our brand is a universal brand. It's a global brand. Our networks are global. So why would we just stay here?
Yeah.
Now, at the moment, it's great because we can do everything with Welsh artists. But if you want to build a real vision, I think you need to do it in colour. So if you can actually start to think about how you would colour in that story. So if you were drawing a picture of what it looks like in 2025 for you, what would it look like? And we'll do that, and it'll be fun and it'll be messy, and you've just not got to worry about it, and you can wipe everything down your front, you know.
Oh yeah, can't wait. I went to a great we had someone over from Italy, didn't we?
Fresco painting.
3 years. Yeah. Well, it must be 3 years.
2 years. 2 years.
October 2019, I think.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and that was doing a fresco piece. So again, just getting messy, not bothered about anything. So no, there will be wipes, and there is a toilet where you can go and wash your hands. So we can't be worried about anything like that. It is literally just about, let's end the conference on a fantastic, bright and bold session where we can just literally have fun and help each other. And probably you will all laugh at mine, but I won't care, because it'll be mine and I will have painted it, and that's it. And we've got to go away to think, oh my God, I made this, and this is what represents me today and where I am in my business and what I want to achieve. And that's what we're going to do. I'm really looking forward to it. I can't wait.
Yeah.
Can't wait. Fantastic. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
For your time. And it's not long. I think it's about 7 weeks, maybe 7 weeks tomorrow.
Right.
It will be, I will need that time on that day, because that will be my last session before we finish up and I get ready for Naomi's wedding, which will be taking place the following morning.
Lovely, Riley.
Yeah. So it will be a final get messy before everything gets pristine and perfect again. So I can't wait. I'm really looking forward to it. So thank you so much, and we'll see you. I will see you before, obviously. Thankfully, now we can meet face to face. But we will see everybody on the 24th at the Village in Warrington. So thanks so much, Sarah.
You're very welcome.
See you on the day.
All right.
Thank
See you then. Bye.
Bye.